All right, so welcome to GCA Hootworthy. Have another Hootworthy story coming at you. We've got a teacher Hootworthy. Love doing these. So please tell us your first name, what you teach, and how long you've been with GCA.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erica Sims. I have been at GCA for 4 years, 10 years teaching in all. But I am a special education teacher in the life department.
Awesome.
And so we teach life skills and, all of the academic areas, but in a life skills type way.
Right on. Great. So you've been with GCA 4 years in the life department, or have you moved around at all?
Well, so yes, I've been in the life department, but I was in the elementary school life department my first year, and then switched over to middle school, and middle school kind of has my heart. I've always, even before I taught at GCA, I only ever taught middle school, and it's a crazy time, but I love it.
There you go. Hey, well, some people are built different. And so you are built different for middle school. That's awesome. So congratulations. The reason we're having you on is you won the district teacher of the year for us, for Georgia Cyber Academy. So you are representing us as a district, which is great. We're kind of split up a little bit. We've got the primary, elementary, middle, and secondary, but you are representing us as the total district. So what does this award mean to you, Erica?
Well, first off, it was very shocking. It's not something you just expect to happen. And since I've worked at GCA, the people that I've met, I continue to be shocked at the teachers that are here. They're incredible, and they are all so knowledgeable and they're just incredible is the only way that I notice it. So it's a huge honor. But it's just a feeling of, wow, these people are incredible. And I don't even know what to say still. And it's been months because I think, how do I even compare to these people? I mean, they're amazing. And so I just think it's just a lot. It's a lot of emotions.
Sure.
But it's very exciting, and it's a great honor for sure.
Sure. That's awesome. And so you've actually been teaching 10 years. So is this your first Teacher of the Year award you've received, or did you receive one before coming to GCA?
No, I've never received one.
Cool. So now, and we are a huge school. I mean, we've got a ton of faculty, and for you to get an award like this, like you said, we got incredible faculty here, and then you representing us. This is huge. And so, what has been a favorite memory of yours while teaching? And actually, no, I take that back, because before that, I actually want to hear, why did you even become a teacher, Erica? What was
so when I was a child, one of my very best friends, he had a little brother with autism. And at that time, no one really knew what that was. We didn't know. No, most people didn't know. And I always kind of gravitated toward him. And I loved spending time with him, and just doing things with him and teaching him how to do things. And the child's grandmother actually said to me one day, "You should be a special ed teacher." And I thought, no, definitely not. I'm going to be a rock star for sure. And, I kind of pushed it to the side. But then as I got older, and even in high school, I got to thinking, what, like all high schoolers do, what do I want to do with my life? And I realized that as my life went on, I was still kind of gravitating towards some of the kids who maybe had some disabilities. And I got a lot of joy from helping them, and from just spending time with them and teaching them things. And so I thought, I think maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. And so that was really the reason why I started.
That's so great. And so like you said, you've been special ed and in the life department for us. And so for people who aren't really sure what that really means or entails, like how would you, because I know you mentioned before, you said like teaching life skills. Is there any other way you would put that to someone who's like, what is the life department? What is that, like our population that we serve?
So in a brick and mortar school, you will have certain classrooms that serve kids who receive special education services. And in my first job that I had, I was in brick and mortar for 6 years. And so most people would consider that a self-contained setting. And that would mean those students are mostly in the same class for a good bit of the day. And they receive all their academics in that one class. Well, and that was what I did in my previous school. Well, at GCA, that is referred to as the life department. And so it's essentially still kind of a classroom where they receive all their academics from basically the same teachers. So my co-teacher and I, we teach math, ELA, science, and social studies. And so a big thing that we teach is, I teach math, and a lot of what I teach are, telling time and counting money and reading a menu, and things that they would experience in the real world, and things that, some kids might not need help learning, whereas some of our students, they need that repetition. And so they have to experience that many times before they can go out into public and read a menu.
Sure. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's great. So now that we know why you kind of became a teacher, you're gravitated to it, and specifically that special education population, what has been a favorite memory of yours while teaching? And this doesn't necessarily have to be at GCA, but it could be, bonus points if it is at GCA. But what would be what's like something that sticks out to you as a favorite memory? It doesn't have to be the favorite memory, but a favorite memory.
So I've been thinking about this, and I have a couple of examples. But my first one is kind of a silly example. So,
we love silly. We love silly on Hootworthy. We love it.
So when I had just had my son. He was 6 months old. So I had a very small baby, and I was teaching at a middle school in my hometown. And I had 3 boys in my class. These 3 specifically, they loved Ghostbusters. They were obsessed. And so every single day it was, Miss Sims, they wanted to listen to the Just Dance Ghostbuster song. And so we were listening to it every day.
How's that go? How's that go again?
Oh, I know it.
How's it go?
And so every day we were doing Just Dance for 2 or 3 minutes and doing, that song. Well, so at my old school, they did a big talent show every year right before winter break. And I thought, we're going to do this dance in the talent show. We're going to do this. And keep in mind, I had just had a baby, 6 months old. And, thinking of it now, dancing in front of a middle school, probably not my smartest idea that I've ever had, but I actually just went in my garage and found a picture of us, and because I want to see if you guys can see it.
Oh, yes.
We ended. Hold on. Let me take the background off.
And here's the thing. For our viewers on our YouTube channel, we will get this picture. We'll scan it. We'll scan it and email it, and we'll show it on the YouTube channel. So you don't have to change your background right now.
Good.
We'll put it on so that's, if you're listening on our podcast, you need to go to the YouTube channel to see this picture.
So we practiced for at least a month in my classroom because I didn't want, I was like, if we're doing this, we are going to do it and it is going to be good.
Yeah.
And we practiced every day. I looked around, searched, we found the whole Ghostbusters jumpsuits for every one of them. And we ended up winning.
Nice.
We won first place in the talent show. And it was so much fun because, I mean, all of their families were there, their parents, their brothers and sisters. And I mean, it was like we had just won the World Series. Their parents lost their minds, and it was the best memory for me.
That's awesome. You know, everybody's test scores tanked, but y'all won the talent show. So
that's right.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. That's amazing.
But that was my funny memory. Because it's just a great memory.
It is a great memory.
Yeah. But
we have a talent show at GCA. GCA's got talent show plug. Don't forget, I have to say that anyways, because I'm on the talent show committee, but go ahead. Next one.
And then a huge thing for me, and the reason why I started and am interested in this life to begin with is that I really, really wanted to see my students become as independent as possible. That is, so, you know, what I told you was my story, but this is kind of my passion with it. Because I want to see my students do as much as they can and not be hindered, but to thrive and do as absolutely much as they can in this life. And so sometimes I see old students here in town. I might see them at Publix working in the grocery store, and I cannot tell you how happy that makes me because, you know, we were working on things like stocking shelves and counting money and even just having a conversation. So that's just the best thing for me. But one of my current students now, he has started a dog sitting business. And, you know, we were able to talk through that. And his mom is so supportive. And I mean, it might have been her idea to begin with, but we, you know, he's doing it now. And he's a student at GCA, and that he's making money, he's getting jobs. And that is huge for me because, you know, in 10 years, he might be paying his own bills. He might be making his own money. And that is just the most rewarding thing in the world for me.
That's awesome. That's cool. It's why you do what you do. Right. And so that actually might kind of cover this next question I had for you, which is maybe a segue here, but what is one of your biggest wins as a teacher? I mean, you almost kind of said it though, with that student, that could be something, but do you have any other, you know, kind of wins you would say, a win that you can think of throughout your teaching career?
So that is definitely one. That is one of my top wins for sure. Something else I will say so my co-teacher, she and I have been together 3 years. Her name is Amy Knight, and she is so good at building relationships with students, which is so incredibly hard in an online school. And she just goes above and beyond with students to build those relationships. So it might be a student who, you know, is not completing a lot of work, or, you know, doesn't like to be engaged or doesn't like to talk or anything like that. And she just, she's so good at it. And, you know, when you're with people who are good at things, it challenges you to also be good at those things. And so I've kind of had to come out of my comfort zone a little bit with that because, you know, we're having to really reach out to students who sometimes, you know, don't really want to be engaged. And it's always such a win to see those students who didn't participate or who really didn't want anything to do with their classmates or their teachers start building those relationships and start, you know, letting those walls down a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. for that, that's for sure a big win. And so, um, if you could give one piece of advice to students, um, what would it be? Like if you knew that a student would actually follow this advice, like to the T, what would you say?
Well, I think that, I have kind of a middle school brain in that
Sure.
because that's what I'm geared for.
Sure.
But I think that so many times middle and high schoolers, there's so much stress, there's so much, anxiety, there's so much drama, at that age. And for every middle and high school student, I mean, every one of them, and they're experiencing life in the now, and it feels like everything that's happening at this moment is it's going to be heightened, and it's going to feel like it's going to be like that forever. You feel in that moment like this is a huge chunk of my life, and I'm going to feel this way forever. And so the biggest piece of advice I have to say is, in the grand scheme of things, like myself, looking back on high school, it was just a fast glimpse, small piece of my life. And so even if things aren't great right now, or even if things are, just really stressful, looking back on your situation now, you might not even remember a lot of the things that are upsetting you. You probably won't. And if you do remember them, you'll think to yourself, oh, I experienced that, but I'm fine now. And so school, high school, middle school is such a small part, and there's so much more after it. You just got to make through the tough times.
Sure. No, that's great. That's great advice, Miss Sims. It's like it may feel like it's the most important thing in the world right now. It might feel like it's the end of the world if this does or doesn't happen. But having that perspective of, hey, there's more coming. There's more life to be lived, kind of thing. That's great.
So much more.
So what is one of your favorite things about teaching at GCA? You've been here 4 years. You mentioned you have an awesome co-teacher, so maybe that's one of the things, and it was a spoiler alert answer, but I don't know. What is one of your favorite things about teaching at GCA?
I do love my co-teacher. She's fantastic. So as any teacher that teaches in an online capacity would tell you, engagement is tough. It is tough to get your kids engaged and excited about learning because they have cell phones, or they have a movie on behind them, or they have computer games up. And so something that I really enjoy, well, I do a lot of things with a shock factor, I think. So I like to do things that they don't think that I'll do. And so if
don't do that right now. Don't do it right now. I'm just
if someone is not paying attention, I'll just start singing their name, or or we'll dance on camera. We'll do some kind of dance together.
Nice.
Or my co-teacher actually has a video of me. She was talking about I think it was past and present tense verbs or something. And so we were like, we're going to get the kids paying attention. So I went out in my yard and did a backflip on the trampoline. And it was Mrs. Sims is jumping, Mrs. Sims is flipping. And I just like to surprise them.
Nice. All right. Well, we need that video for later. We're going to need that video of you doing backflips. Okay.
I'm sure she will gladly give it to you. She has it.
We need it. We need to see it. That's awesome.
All right, y'all ready?
Ready.
Here we go. All right, jump. All right, y'all want me to do it?
Sims, what?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'll do the backflip.
Good. Woohoo!
Oh.
Wow.
Sims, okay?
If I try front flip, I might fall.
They said, Miss Sims, are you okay?
I I'm okay.
She is okay.
So you like the shock factor, love
Yeah.
it. And have you found that
Love
have you found that kind of works? That strategy, the shock factor, works to
Yes.
improve your engagement?
Yes, because so many, students might not be paying attention. But if they hear that Miss Sims is going outside to do this, or Miss Sims is, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some more examples. Just
Sure.
anything. I'll sing to them. I'll do whatever I have to do. And I don't care if they're sitting there going, wow, she is a dork. I don't care if they're looking at the computer and they're paying attention.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
This is great.
If they're learning the content, that's the win,
Yeah.
right? That's awesome. So just switching gears, we've been talking about teaching and all this stuff, and obviously teacher, and it makes sense, but just like a little off topic of that, but when you're not teaching, Miss Sims, I know that's crazy to think there's a moment when you're not teaching. What do you enjoy doing?
Well, so I have two kids. One is 6 and one is 3. And I've been married almost 10 years. But so my family and I, we spend a lot of time together, and they're at such fun ages. We have a great time. So definitely spending time with my family. I'm really into cycling classes. I do those, and I actually am certified to teach classes in cycling too.
Cool.
So, just more teaching. But I enjoy taking those classes too. I like to read. I like to be outside, and I love taking naps, even though I never get to take them anymore.
Sure. So, but you're never napping when you're teaching, though. So we will never find any, picture, video evidence of Miss Sims napping in the classroom, which is good. So thanks so much for coming on, Miss Sims, and you congratulations again on this huge achievement, the district teacher of the year for GCA. Do you have any shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah, so I already mentioned I'm super grateful for my co-teacher, Amy Knight. She levels me out when I get stressed about things, and she'll say, now, is this worth being stressed over? And she can calm me down pretty well. But I'll also say that one of my leads, Anna Spears, she is such a great example of someone who displays leadership, but in a servant leadership type way, which is such a amazing thing for any business at all. A leader who is alongside you and helping you carry the load, helping you work, rather than just telling you what to do. And she is so willing all the time. Just, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I make this better? What can I do? And she does it. And,
it's awesome.
People like that are so valuable to any business, any leader like that. And I'm so very grateful for that. And our whole life department is fantastic. So I'm grateful to work with them.
Awesome. Well, thanks again so much for coming on, Ms. Sims. We know you're busy teaching, winning awards. Thanks again, and we'll see you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Bye.